beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited because we're gonna be talking about some 2024 book goals. As the time I'm filming this, 2024 is exactly 2 weeks away, which is absolutely insane. 2023 is like my first year getting back fully into reading in my adult years, and this year's been crazy. I have had so much fun. I'm so excited to keep going with my reading, with my posting. I'm loving everything that this has created for me, so yeah. So starting off strong, the big one that everybody always wants to know is the number goal for the year. Last year I set my goal at 100. Like I said, it was my first year getting back into reading in my adult years. I think in 2022 I had maybe read like 15 books, like very sporadically and randomly. But 2023 was the year I started my social media platforms, and I really dug into reading again. And my goal was 100, and I ended up reading over 200 books so far this year as of where I'm at. Being said though, I also started working full-time in September, and I'd say like definitely this later half of the year I've been reading a little bit less books a month. So I want to be realistic but also still challenge myself. I don't want my goal to be super easy to get to, so I'm thinking 150 is a good number for me. I feel like that'll be enough that I feel challenged, but also I'm not like stressed and feel like I have to like read like 5 million like 100-page books to catch up, you know? Next goal I have is I actually think I'm a pretty diverse reader in the sense of the books I gravitate for. My main big three obviously are fantasy, romance, and mystery thrillers, but I also do read a good amount of historical fiction. I read a lot of general and literary fiction, so I think I do pretty good on the fiction front. The one thing I would like to do in 2024 is read more nonfiction, and by more I mean any, because of the 200 books I read this year, zero were nonfiction. And the problem with nonfiction is I just find like it hard to decide what I'm in the mood for, or what I'd benefit from. One thing I think I will do though is I love traveling, and there's a lot of like nonfiction books, like not even on like travel guides, but like on actual just like tips for travel. Like I think I have one that's like a guide for solo travel, and I think I could read that and that'd be really interesting and that would count. So I think my goal for the year is 5. I'm being very realistic with myself. I think 5 is a good number, and I feel very accomplished if I hit that. So reading 5 nonfiction books in 2024. Another one is better use audiobooks. I found that, like I said, this is the first year I got back into reading, and because I love it so much and I refound that love, I found that it kind of like consumed a lot of my time. I read so much as a kid, and then honestly, like last year of high school and my undergrad, I pretty much cut out reading for fun entirely, because between my education and working 2 to 3 jobs the entire time I was in school, I did not have time for much else, and like school and work consumed my life, and I made no time for joy or reading or anything along those lines. So I think when I found it again, I just like, it was like all I wanted to do in my free time, and obviously it still stands, but I'm thinking if I can utilize audiobooks more, I can do more, in the sense that when you're reading a physical book, like you can only read that book, that's all you can do. But if I'm listening to an audiobook, I can also I can knit and crochet. I love knitting and crocheting. I can knit and crochet, I can cook a nice dinner, I can go for a walk, like I can do all these other things that I can't do. I'm just like sitting there reading a physical book. So I think if I start utilizing audiobooks more, I could also make time for other hobbies that I have as well, instead of just reading all the time. Next one is to keep up with my book of the month. So I was a lot better at the end of the year, but near the beginning of this year, I was getting my book of the month, and they were just like sitting on my shelf. Like I have my TBR for January hidden up here because I've already chosen it, but one of those books on my January TBR was a book I had chosen in February of 2023. So it's been on my shelf for almost 12 months now, which is a very, very long time. So I think my goal for book of the month is, I only have 5 books left on my TBR now that I haven't read from them. I think my goal is to catch up, and then that month I get the book, I read the book that month. Like it's in my TBR and I read it that month. I think that's a good way to make sure I stay on top of it, because the thing is I do like the subscription and I do love all the books I read from there. I just find that I'm somebody who gets really engrossed in reading my series, and all these are standalones obviously, so I need to make time for them. On that note of series, I need to finish series. I made a video back in November, I think, or October, about all the series I was in the middle of, and there was 21. And then I kept saying I was gonna do a series where I finish those, like a video series where I finish my book series that I'm reading. And every month so far I've tried filming it, and the video just like hasn't worked out, or I haven't liked how it turned out. So I think actually finally in January, once a month, I want to post a video actually working on completing my series. And I would love, this is like a very, very ambitious goal, but by 2024, I would love to have the majority of my series finished. Or to like be like waiting on next releases and not being like in the middle of 20 series, you know, just minimize it a little bit. Another one is book reviews, and this one's mainly for my other account. I have read over 200 books so far now this year, and I went through my other account and I kind of went through all the videos I've been posting, and I think of those 200, I could probably find like 20 to 30 actual reviews of book where I sat down and gave my full reviews on a book and my full thoughts on it. I think I'd like to prioritize that a little bit more in 2024. I'm very good at doing it with ARCs and with author mail. I'm very good about doing it with those, but I find especially with like bigger series, I don't like share my full thoughts on them because I feel like enough people are already doing that. But I would like to just start making it a bit more of a habit to share like my full in-depth thoughts. And then also, especially for books that maybe not be as popular or may not be as talked about, like giving them more attention. Like I would love to start doing full reviews on all my book of the month books. I feel like those ones typically aren't like as talked about. So just like actually like, and also even just writing them out, like writing my reviews either for myself in a journal or tying into the next one on my Goodreads or Storygraph. Next goal is to stay diligent on my Goodreads and Storygraph. So I was so good on Storygraph until I'd say about August, and then I stopped. But even then, I mean, I was so good, but I was tracking the reading I was doing every single day, like the page numbers. But I think I only posted reviews on there in like January and February, and then I stopped. And like March through May, I probably put like a star rating, but no written review. And then Goodreads, I only started actually doing probably not like in September. And I backlogged all the way till January, put all those books in, then didn't use it ever again. Like, and I haven't like actually kept up with using it. So my goal for 2024 is to diligently post reviews on Goodreads and Storygraphs for every book I read. Like even if it's just like a couple sentences, put a star rating and put some thoughts down. That's like a goal of mine. And then also just like track what I'm reading each day, because I actually do really like seeing like trends on how much I've been reading every single day. So just make an effort to every single day put what I've read, and then when I finish a book, write something about it, write a little review, and put a star rating for all of them. Next goal is to read new releases more on time. Like I said, this year just felt like a huge year of catch up because there was so many books I wanted to read. Everybody was like, ACOTAR, Throne of Glass, you know, like saying all these huge series that I felt like all year long I was kind of just like trying to catch up to everybody else. Because I was like, by the time I read that series, now it's like, oh, this other book's been out for 2 months, it's amazing, the sequel's coming out, and like, you're gonna love it. And I just felt like all year long, I was catching up on really popular books everybody else had already read, and I didn't really have time to read new releases actually on time. Now, with that being said, there's still a lot of books I want to read. There's still a lot of books I still have to read, but I feel like I'm in a better position now to read new releases when they come out. There's like 8 new releases in January that I'm really excited about, and I'm hoping I can read at least 4 of those on time. Like maybe like not the day they come out, but like the week they come out. Like House of Flame and Shadow, I would love to read the day of. Destroy the Day, I would love to read. There's a couple of really good ones that are coming out, but I want to make more of an effort to read books actually around their release date. Another reason why I find that one hard for me is because I am not a hardback girly. So if it comes out and it comes out in hardback first, normally I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till the paperback comes out. But in US and Canada, that can be like a year. So maybe even if I don't actually go buy the book, just get the ebook of it and read it, or the audiobook and read it that way, but still try to read them more on time. My last 2 goals 9 and 10, kind of go hand in hand because I want to start annotating my books, but I think I would only annotate rereads. I'm somebody who's a bit of like a perfectionist. I think that's why I haven't annotated in the past, but like the other month I got super excited about it. I bought a bunch of annotating supplies and then I still didn't start. But I think the problem with me doing it, like annotating before I've read a book, is like, and I know that's the whole point of it, but like if I were to highlight something and be like foreshadowing and like it wasn't, I would be like really mad. Like I'm not sure if that makes any sense to anybody else, but I think it would have to be a book that I've read before, I know what's coming, and I can just like annotate parts. Like I would want to do it more so to go back and like dissect the author's writing. So and with that comes the fact that I want to do a lot of rereads this year. So like I said, this year I was planning just catch up, and I felt like there was no time to go back and reread books that I've already read and enjoyed because there's just so many other books I had to get to, which is still the case, but I want to prioritize rereads this year. Last week for a video, I went back and reread the Hunger Games trilogy and the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it was so much fun and it was so nostalgic and I had such a good time that I really think I want to prioritize rereads this year, because there's like, it's so fun to go back into a world you already know and like have that comforting feeling. So I would love to reread Percy Jackson. I would love to reread those. I would love to reread Harry Potter at some point. I would love to reread pretty much Sarah J Maas's entire backlist, because those books, like Throne of Glass, has my entire heart. And so then on that note though, I would want to go back and reread those and annotate them. Maybe I can make a whole video series where it's like I go reread some old favorites, annotate them. I'm not sure honestly if I would annotate standalones, unless it's a standalone I really loved. Like I'm pretty sure I would love to annotate like some Kristen Hanna books, but besides that, I'm not sure many other standalones, but it would be a lot of rereading series and annotating. I would love to reread Chestnut Springs also. Throw that in there. Those are 10 reading goals I've already set out for 2024. More might show up, but honestly I feel like 10 is a pretty good number, and like that's gonna keep me busy enough, and maybe I should stick with that. So this is my first full year actually reading my adult years and being on social media reading, and I've just had such an amazing time and I'm so grateful, and I'm just so excited to see what next year brings. So yeah, if you guys have any goals, let me know what they are. I'd really love to hear them. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm also on TikTok, Angel's Book Corner, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.